Hello, everybody. I can tell at the very least I have an audience of one due to the chat room. Um, those of you hanging out with me, my name is Mark Mandel. I'm streaming from the office, hence this awful angle of view because my screen is I'm using my laptop camera, which is terrible, but it's fine. We will live. Hey, how you doing there? Yeah. How you doing there, Sefer or Tanya? Thanks for joining me. So we're gonna do some fun stuff today. This should be entertaining, if nothing else. I'm gonna attempt to write some C++ today, which is gonna be really interesting. There is soundproofing in our studio. Yeah, it's a nice studio. I prefer to set up. I prefer to stream from home. I have no idea what you're doing, Mark, since I don't code. That's all right. It'll be fine. You'll get to see me mess things up. It'll be entertaining. But you know, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. So, what do I want to work on today? So, as stated kind of below, I work on an open source project called Agones. It's a project for hosting and scaling game servers. So basically, if you're thinking of like games like Fortnite, games like Overwatch, they usually run on what's called a dedicated game server. So basically a full simulation of what's happening inside your game, somewhere on the internet or on the cloud, etc., etc. So inside the platform that we're building, there's an SDK, right? There's a thing inside there for specifying how, like, is this server ready, or has it come up yet, or like, is it still alive, like, is it still healthy, right? All that kind of stuff. One of the things we've been working on in the new version that's going to come out in 4 weeks or something, we're in a 6-week release cycle, is previously we wrote some code such that if you wanted to get the configuration information for the game server that you've specified and how you set that up and you tell it to run, there's a command inside the SDK. So I'm just looking at Go code here, for example, where I can say to the SDK, right, like, here's my game, like, give me the information for the game server. And it'll just be like, okay, here's your current state. That's fine, right? Which is not terrible, and it's very useful. And what I do in this thing here, so the code I'm showing here is actually like a really simple basic UDP-based server. All it does is like just echo back commands, like you connect to it and it just says hello and you say hello and it spits it back, so it's fine. So having direct access to the game server configuration, this is good. I'm putting a thumbs up. I don't know where to put it where my camera is. There we go. This is good. But what we also want to be able to do is watch for events. So basically, like, hey, like, call this callback whenever something breaks. Oh, sorry, not whenever something breaks. Sorry, let's not. Whenever something changes. So if the game server configuration, say, it changes state, which is something it does, so it'll go from like a starting state to a ready state as it goes through, and then it'll go from ready to allocated when it's been actually handed off to someone so someone can play that game. So we've extended this to have it such that, what was I going to say? So that you can have this thing called, say, like SDK, like S is the SDK, by the way, watch game server, and then a callback, this function to get called. So basically saying, like, every time a game server changes, in this particular instance, all I'm doing is I'm taking the game server, I'm converting it into JSON, and I'm spitting it out to a log. Like, that's it. I'm not doing anything special with it. And got this working for Go, right? For the language Go, that seems to be working super nicely. Everything's pretty cool. But we kind of want that for C++ as well. That's the big thing. So I'm going to write some really bad C++ code, and maybe people can tell me if I'm doing it okay or better. I even have really bad, what's the word? I even have bad IDE. I have a terrible C++ SDK IDE, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So, for those of you who may or may not be familiar with gRPC, which is what this is kind of based on, gRPC is basically a remote procedure call framework. So basically for calling functions over the wire, that's based on, that interrupts between different languages as well. So it works on Go, it works on C++, it works on, there's a Rust implementation, there's Ruby, there's JavaScript, etc. So we picked that so that we could support multiple languages with our SDK, which is awesome, and it also enables us to expose everything as REST, so HTTP and JSON too. So we have both of those, and those are both available to you. The C++ SDK is based on gRPC for now. It is not the best experience on Windows. I'll be completely honest with you. We want to rewrite this, and I'm waiting on some people who are hopefully going to come help me do that, and it's just taking time, and it sucks, but it will eventually happen. Running it on Linux is not terrible. It's definitely doable. Running it on Windows is a bit of a pain. But we want to get this to work, especially as having it as an example of what it is we want to do. So if we have a look in this folder here, you'll see there's a bunch of already like these .pb files. Those are all generated by gRPC, and I've already regenerated those. We have a look in our proto, for example. We have this thing called watch game server, just so you can see how this works. So we have a watch game server event that returns a stream of game servers. And we've already set up on the gRPC server side that whenever an event happens, like an update event happens to that game server, so that configuration changes, then those details will get sent up, and we just need to write the SDK that catches that and has some kind of callback system, essentially. Now, the interesting question is, how do I do that in the same way I've done that previously? So I don't know. Let's have a look. All right, so I have a makefile for my C++ stuff, so I can do a make build. Let's actually just make sure that's not broken. SDK C++, make build. Yeah, let's just make sure that's all still working. It should still be fine. Nothing's broken since the new includes. I just want to make sure that I'm not going to run into anything else. Yep, that all looks pretty good. Okay, cool. I do have this makefile, so it's going to solve a lot of my problems already, which is good, which is usually just like, how the hell do I just like compile C++, because I have no idea. All right, that's cool. If I have a look at my Go version, which is what I usually prototyping, because I know that really well, though not many people, well, I probably aren't really any Go game servers out there, but it gets me going fast. So what I want to do is have a watch game server that takes some kind of callback as a thing, okay, and potentially throws back an error of some kind, okay. And so the way I've done it in Go is I do have this once thing inside what's the word I'm looking for? Inside Go as a language has a once operator, or basically a once handler, sync.once, which basically says like make sure this thing only ever happens once. So basically once connect to watch game server, and then we're going to set up a Go routine for another thread to sit and just receive those events whenever they occur. I have no idea how to do this in C++. This is going to be really weird. Okay, so the first place I like to start is function declarations. I think that's a good place to start. If I can define a function, then I can get something happening. Let's think about this. So, cool. Let's think about this. All right, so let's have a look at not stream receive, watch game server. This is going to be in one of these. There's going to be a version of this somewhere. Whoops, no, I just want watch game server. Here we go, perfect. What does this return? Anything? Yeah, I have to like read stuff. It's really annoying. All right, let's have a look in here too. All right, I think not watch game server is in here. No. All right. All right. Ooh, there's like different versions of watch game server too. This is interesting. Okay, so stub interface, blah, blah, blah. There's watch game server, there's async watch game server, and there's prepare async watch game server. Interesting. I think C++ is going to be weird. I have a feeling gRPC for C++ is kind of... Oh, but there's this too. There's watch game server here. And, okay, so we have a... This feels like the service. And we have a status, return back a status, which I feel like is what we want. Watch game server takes in a server context. This looks a lot like what I think I usually do inside the code. Let's have a look. Yeah, so there's the context, pass that through. This all looks pretty much like what I usually do. Const empty, and then there's a writer. But I want not a writer, I want to receive. All right. All right, let's start with, let's assume, all right, no, that's not what I want. SDK.h. Let's assume gRPC status is going to be what we're returning. gRPC status is an object that comes back and it's got stuff like did it fail or did it work or did it not. And then we'll say watch game server. We'll need some sort of callback. Watch the game server configuration and fire the callback when an update occurs. It'll actually fire a little bit more often than that, but that's all right. All right, so that's something. But what I want is a callback. So how do I do callbacks in C++? C++ callback. Callback functions in C++. Probably something that's when to use the callback is callable, accepting a class or a function, used to customize the customer function. Generic code, blah blah blah. Can we do some kind of callback in C++? I'm sure there's a way to do this. Here we go. Let's have a look. That looks recent. And we're supporting, say, C++ 11, so I guess it's fine. I have no idea if this is like good C++ or not, but I guess we'll work it out. Ooh, I have an example. I think I have an example. Hold on, bear with me. Issues. Somebody did this. Somebody did this for health as like an example, and I can steal it. Someone with like way better health check callbacks. Yeah. I position code. Boom. All right, so they wrote code, my health, and my health check. Interesting. Oh, so there's a thing called a future. Fancy. Standard function boolean. Oh, fancy. Okay, all right. I think this person's actually done the work that I needed them to do. Cool. So why don't I steal this? I don't know if this is gonna work, but we'll steal this. This looks pretty good. So I'm gonna steal. I don't know if this works or not, but whatever. Function. What does this function do? That's actually a really good question. I think it doesn't return anything. I think it actually just watches. What did I do on the game server callback? How do I do this? It's just a function that takes a game server. So I guess it's going to be something like this. And apparently this needs to be named. What did I call it over here? I gave it a name. What did I give it a name? I just called it F. Oh, that's pretty straightforward. We'll just call it callback. All right. That seems like it should be okay. Let's see what happens if I make it. I have no idea. If I make build, will this just fail? Here we go. Cannot create directory error. That's fine. It seems like it's okay. All right. It hasn't complained yet. I mean, I haven't got an implementation of this, but it isn't complaining. So I will take that. I will take that as a win. I'm gonna sneeze. Being live on air. Fantastic. Okay. So, all right, cool. All right, let's see if that works. All right, and then if I go to sdk.cc and we implement this, where do I want to put it? I want to put it under game server. I think I had a. Here we go. Oh, we got. Oh man, air conditioning's getting to me. Lovely. Okay, so I'm gonna put it here. So let's see. All right, this is always hilarious fun. All right, Jersey's test watch game server callback. That all looks pretty good. Now what? This should be interesting. This should be interesting. Because what do I do here? I do return an error if it happens. So what I do inside the Go version is I allow there to be multiple callbacks. Maybe I don't do that in the C++. I mean, I could. I just don't know how to do this in C++. I'm so bad at this. All right. I'm gonna do like a simple version. I think I have to just do a simple version and then maybe iterate on that. I think that's the easiest way. Cause yeah, I don't know enough of like how to do this. Yeah, so what I do in the Go version is I have a list of callbacks that can be added, and then on the first time you call Watch Game Server and you add a callback, it goes and actually calls the function, and then what happens is is then when the data comes in, it then just loops around all the callbacks and call them. Like that's what it does. Like that's the Go version. I would like something similar, I think, for C++. I don't know if I'm going to implement it, but we'll see how we go. Well, let's get the stream status. Oh my god. All right, so actually, here we go. So we think it's this function here, which seems like it's right, although I'm getting back a server writer. Well, I'll tell you what, let's go over here and go to gRPC. Let's just go to the gRPC docs. And let's have a look. Here we go. Docs, C++. Let's go into like the basics tutorial. So we're doing, what are we doing? We are doing client-side streaming. Hold on, let's go here. It's better. Oh. Man, the sneeze really made my nose run. All right, so we are doing client-side streaming. Creating server, blah, 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 don't care. Streaming RPC, here we go. Yeah, I feel like I would need, that's bidirectional. Creating the client. Streaming RPCs, creating the server. And yeah, see, I feel like this should be a client reader or something. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong part of the code. It's possible because watch game server though. We get when you generate stuff from gRPC, then what was I going to say? Oh, interesting. Disabled synchronous version of this method. When you do it that way, then you get both the server and the client stuff. And so it makes me think that I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, let's look. See if I can find anything in the gRPC docs that looks vaguely like I might know that it's going to at least point me in the right direction, maybe. Greeter, hello reply, don't care about that. All right, need streaming. I just need streaming. Give me a streaming client. Create client, create stub. Here we go. Streaming RPCs. Simple RPC. Yep, that's fine. Don't care about that. That's interesting, but fine. Whatever. Here we go. Streaming RPCs. Now look at streaming methods. Creating server. Some may look very familiar. Streaming RPCs are implemented here. List features, graphical features. Okay. While reader.read. Okay. Oh my god. I'm so bad at this. It's really funny. Standard reader. What on earth? Okay. Yeah, I have no idea what this does. This is really funny. Tanya, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Afraid Duchess, I said I have morning meetings that make me miss these. Thanks for I'm glad the YouTube recordings are coming in handy. This is just going to be me just being like, what is going on? All right, instead of passing a method context request, we pass in a context and request and get a client reader object back. So, okay, so in theory, if I go back to here, there should be something that returns me back a client reader. All right, here we go. Holy ball. What is going on here? Okay. Oh, this looks promising. This looks promising. All right, so here we go. Client reader. What are we looking at here? This is a stub. Okay, the stub interface gives me back a client reader. Okay, cool. Watch game server. Okay, so I have watch game server, async watch game server, and prepare async watch game server. Okay, so I think this is it. I think this is the one. All right. Whew. All right, I'm just going to actually copy paste this because it's going to make my life easier. Okay, beautiful. Let's just turn that into. What did I just do? No. There we go. That's what I want. All right. At some point, I should find a decent IDE for doing C++, maybe, or just somebody else to do this work. Because oh my god, am I bad at it? Okay. Now what is this? There looks like there's different versions, which is interesting. How do we know what they are? There's a client reader, a client async reader, and a client async reader. Okay, so there's that. All right, let's come back over here. Let's have a look. Okay, so client side stream method, record route. It's similar except we pass the method context when we get back quick. Okay, I don't care about that. I'm a client reader. Okay, clean server. Okay, so here we create that. We get a list of features. We get a client reader. While reader.read, and we just kind of spit stuff out, and then finally we're done, and we say finish whenever we're happy, which should be interesting. Okay. That looks like I should be able to steal a lot of that, and it should be fine, at least in theory. I do want to know about the async version, though. That is interesting. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, in this case, we're implementing the synchronous version of the root guide, which provides our default GRC behavior. There's an async service, which allows you to further customize your service threading behavior, though we won't look at this in the tutorial. Okay, interesting. Oh, I see. So there's asynchronous C++ as well. Simple server and client using. This sounds like it's too much work for what I want to do. And if somebody else wants to take it up, then they can. Good for them. Okay. So we're gonna keep this dead simple, I think, and we're not going to allow multiple functions. I think is probably the easy bit, and we'll just allow the single callback, and it'll be fine. This is my thinking. All right. I will come up for a sec. All right. Blah. All right. Yeah. What I wanted to do was steal. Here we go. There was a bit of code. That I literally just wanted to steal. Where was it? Nope. What was the function? Client reader. Here we go. This. Cool. All right, so boom. That looks awful. Okay. Let's just put that up on the one line. Okay. So how do I do this normally? This is actually a really good question. I don't know. All right. This is a whole other thing. All right. So that's lining up there. Okay. So what is the thing that I can do here? All right. So, all right. Cool. So that should be able to return redo.finish, which should be fine. I don't know, when am I ever going to finish this? Never. Oh, it might close eventually, actually. Yeah, something. All right. Like I said, one thing at a time. All right. So what we actually want is a game server. And we want to call watch game server. Now, okay, so this is what we're calling here. So unique pointer gRPC client reader. This actually looks really good. It takes in a gRPC game server. Yep. Watch game server that takes in a client context and an empty context. All right, so let's get that going on. Watch game server. Okay, cool. Watch game server takes a context and an empty request. All right, which is what we normally do. So let's grab an empty. And steal that from here. And we can copy what's going on here. Empty. Okay. We will need a game server response. Right. Yeah. Okay. And this should be interesting. Okay. So we will need it. I will need a response. So like, okay. Oh, so we did this before. Here we go. Oh, so we need a response. Like we need a pointer to our game server, which is our thing that it goes into. Because I have a look at the code over here, blah, 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 while reader. Where does that feature come from? Nobody knows. Or it's just not there. All right, so I'm going to assume that I'm going to need a stable Agones dev SDK game server. Okay, so I get some response. Is usually how I've been doing that. And then we'll do that. And actually we'll call it game server. All right. Boom. So we read in the game server. Let's dump this. This seems pretty okay. And then what we need to do is call the callback. Watch game server should block as well, just so that's 100% clear. This isn't the most ideal, but it's fine. All right, so actually let's make a note of that. This function currently blocks. We might change that later on to have a thread, maybe, to run in a thread. It's probably not unreasonable, actually. But one thing at a time. All right. One thing at a time. Okay, what time we got? 9:30. Perfect. All right, cool. I do need to leave about 10 minutes too, so I won't run a full hour. All right, so I should have an example where somebody else called here on health check. What? Hey, interesting. All right, so there's on health check. Pointer. All right, M on health check is a health check. Right. Blah, 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 blah. How do you call it? How do you run this function? How does somebody do that? So I see that, okay, so when they created the SDK in this example, they were passing in the function, which is fine. And then they are like, oh, you know what? It's fine. We'll pass it through to that, which is M on health check. All right, so it finds the member version. Interesting. Oh, interesting. Standard future bool, future. Standard async launch M health check. Man, there's all this stuff in C++ I know nothing about. This is like the worst. All right, so interesting. This is all, yeah. I mean, this ecosystem is so different from anything that I work with. All right, so if I've got, let's see. All right, so if I've got a standard, okay, so if I look at the standard functions, actually, that's probably going to take me in the right direction, right? Standard function, general purpose polymorphic function wrapper, can store, copy and paste, and invoke. How do I invoke it? Oh, operator invokes the target. Okay, it's like literally that simple. Oh, that's kind of funny. Example, here we go. So standard function void int fdisplay equals printNum, which printNum is something that takes the number. Okay, cool. Fdisplay, and then you could just pass it through. Literally, it's that simple. It's not like anything that crazy. Okay. Then we should be able to say callback game server, or maybe pointer to game server, because I asked for pointer to be passed through. I am not sure. I'll tell you what. Let's run make and see what happens. We will see what happens, and we'll see if it compiles. And it does not. All right. Well, that's something at least. Error. Reader was not declared in this scope. Ooh, interesting. Okay. I don't know why. So how do they do it over here? Not here. Reader, standard reader. But it's there. I copied the code. I didn't do anything special about it. Let's have a look in the gRPC GitHub repository. Let's see if we can see the code in there. Let's see if that works. gRPC, I want to say that's in examples. C++, root guide, helper.cc, root guide client. And then if I look for client reader, that's probably a good. Here we go. Yeah, here. This is the same thing here. All right. So standard unique pointer, reader. While reader.read, status.status. Yeah, which I just spit out at the end. That's weird. Why is it like not happy about that? Reader. Unless maybe there's another error that maybe there's another error. Maybe there's another error. Ah, here we go. Client reader. Client reader was not declared in this scope. Okay, so let's go to the top. That's probably better. All right, cool. Yeah, client reader is not defined in this scope at all. Client reader, here we go. Let's just say gRPC client reader. Let's start with that. All right. Make this big. Now, I don't know why I clean build. I probably don't need to clean build. I probably can just build. All right. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. Game server was not declared in the scope. That is true. Game server is very much not declared in the scope. I should probably start using usings. It would probably give me some cleaner code. Like, look at all that. That's kind of nuts, isn't it? But, you know, I don't know what I'm doing. Is basically the short answer. All right, make build. All right, let's see how that goes. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Hey, here we go. Stub was not declared in the scope because stub underscore is not a thing. No, I agree. It is not a thing. And where did that come from? All right. Stub is actually that. Where does stub come from? Am I going nuts? Where does stub come from? I'll be completely honest with you. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't looked at this in a while. Where are we? Okay, so stub equals new stub. That's it must be a member variable of this. It must be. It's anything that makes sense. All right, cool. Compiler-based programming, basically at its finest. Here we go. Okay, we're getting somewhere. All right, stub was not declared in this scope. Why not? That's just silly. Stub should be declared in the scope. Where's my function? Here it is. Status watch game server stub watch game server. Like that should be I don't understand. All right, let's have a look at my stk.h. Maybe there's something I'm missing there. No, it's inside SDK. Beautiful. Stub is the thing that is private. Yep, I see that. I see that there. Cool. I'm not sure what that means. All right, let's have a look. Let's dig into here. All right, so watch game server, callback, blah blah blah. gRPC, I've done a lot of very large. This probably needs refactoring. It's fine though. Stub. This should be stub. Okay. And where are you complaining? Stub was not declared in this scope. Stub is like really declared into this scope. But maybe it's how it's being called in this like weird client reader way. Oh, I also don't have an empty. Oh, because it's not empty, it's request. So that might get rid of. Let's try that. Okay. All right. We're getting somewhere. Stub was not declared in this scope. That's an. I don't know what that means. 4. Let's go with. Oh, let's have a look here. Stub underscore. I use stub underscore because I don't know reasons. Everything is in .cc. Okay, fun. All right. Stub underscore. Do they have like a header for this or? No, just to mess with me. All right. Yeah, because here's the client. What on earth? All right, but this works. Yeah, this is the thing that I don't understand. Okay, so we create this thing called a reader, like standard unique pointer. I do this in a couple of places. Maybe I can work backwards from there. What is a standard unique pointer? This sounds really familiar and something I feel like I've seen before, but I don't remember where. So it's, okay, now I don't know where I did it, but okay, so standard unique pointer, type gRPC client reader, type game server, reader, which makes me think it's like a, let's see if I can, hold on, let's actually go to the, let's go to gRPC, there are gRPC docs, like C++ docs. gRPC, C++ docs. gRPC, core gRPC. Yeah. This is what I want. Namespaces, gRPC. Beautiful client reader. Here we go. Doing server-side streaming. Yep, perfect. Client reader R class template. Huh. This does not look like what I think it looks meant to look like. I do not understand. I guess the big question I have is like what does this mean? Like I'm creating this thing called a reader with like open brackets. Start watch game server. Yeah, why is it like this? Why isn't it just like this? Why is that? Why does that why has it got the brackets around it? Does anyone know? I don't know. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, so their example, they do that weird thing where it's a client reader, right? And in the code returns back a standard unique pointer, right? Like all of this looks like it should just work like that. Like you're saying, here's the thing, and I want you to equal it, and then I'm going to do stuff with it. Let's try compiling it. Nope. It still says it doesn't like stub. What? All right. Out of curiosity, how do I usually do this? Stub, shutdown, request response. Let's break this up then. Something like that. Something like that. All right. Say I do something like this, right? It is stub. Stub is a thing. Stub was not declared in this scope. I don't understand. It was not declared in this scope. Whereas it's fine down here. gRPC status. What have I done that's stupid? I've done something stupid. Oh. Ha 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 ha. I knew I was missing something. I didn't specify that it was part of the SDK system. Because if you're writing C++, you have to specify what the object is inside of it. All right, so we can probably put this back the way it was, even though I'm still not 100% sure of how this works. But, you know, I believe it. Let's see if that works. No error. Okay, so this is fair. There's nothing, so maybe if I just do that. I'm just guessing at this point. Nope, hates me. Okay, oh. Let's see. Nope, hates me. No match to call. Constant standard. Game server, I could probably not make it. Nope. No match to call, standard game server, blah, blah, blah. All right, so maybe if I do that, let's do that. I just kind of want it to work. Or have like a version that works. Ooh, something different. All right, does not match in any, all right. Error prototype for gRPC status, blah, 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 does not match in any class of Agones SDK. Why not? What does that mean? All right, watch game server, that's there. Oh. That's because I changed it in one place and not the other. All right. Nope, same problem. Oops. All right, standard function. Function that takes a game server. All right, there was some examples though. There were some examples that I saw previously in here. Here we go. To took a function that was of type void. That seems to be what it's returning rather than its arguments. Yeah, I think I've actually got this in the wrong way around. I think that's what that is. I think that's what's going on. This should actually be void and should take a game server. Does it take a pointer? No. No, I'm going to say no. I think that's what it should actually be. So this is saying this is what the return type is, and this is what the arguments are. I think this is true. I think this is what it's meant to be. All right, so stk.cc. This needs to be the same thing. Splat. Cool. Where are we? Constant standard function. Splat. Cool. Now, when I call the game event server, it should be fine. I don't know why you're complaining at me. Probably because that's a bad. That should really be no or game server. It's actually probably better, isn't it? Let's do that. Game server. That's better. All right. Let's see if this builds. Crossing fingers, crossing fingers. I feel like this should be closer. It built! It built! It built! Yes. I don't know if it works, but it built. All right, I'm going to commit this. First pass at having a callback for the gRPC service. I'm gonna push that too. All right, cool. I'm gonna stop here. I am gonna actually stop here. Just because I need to go to a meeting, which I didn't want to do, but I actually think I am gonna stop here. But that's a good note. That's a good note to stop on. So I wrote some C++ code, and I think I understand 96% of it. I'm still not sure what this is doing in this way. Maybe it's a cast. Oh. I think it's a cast. I think that's what's going on. It's like, because watch game server will return back, but the watch game server returns back the unique pointer with client reader, which takes the type of game server. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I'm really, okay, you know what? Actually, I do need to run, but I just want to try one thing. I just want to see what happens if we do that. Because I feel like that should be fine. And it is. So, what's the difference? Yeah. I mean, that seems to read better to me. I don't know. Just because, like, equals. I don't know why it has the brackets around it, and it's returning the thing it should return. So, I might just leave it like this. Just build everything again. Get out minus a, get commit, maybe equals is better. At least I can always just roll back to an older version and see if that's a problem. But I think if that compiles, which, no, it did, it compiled. Okay, cool. If that's compiling, that's probably fine and much easier to read. So this seems okay. This seems fine. All right, I'm going to leave things there. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I appreciate it. This has been interesting, me exploring C++. It's been really odd and weird. I'm going to finish this off probably. This will be the end. Oh, actually, no, I need to write some documentation too for this pull request. So hopefully I'll get it done today or tomorrow. We'll get an SDK in there so you can watch game server changes, which would be really cool. Finally, yeah, let me know. Whatchamacallit? Let me know. I don't know what I want you to say. I was going to say, follow me on Twitter at Neurotic. Follow me here on Twitch as well for impromptu type stuff. Every week I say I'm going to do one. Every week I mean it. So I'm going to try and do some more. I'd like to do some more sort of more Pacific afternoon time, I think, just to hit a different time zone. That would be good fun. But yeah, please follow me on Twitter. Please follow me on Twitch. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see like the recordings and that kind of stuff too, and dig more deeper. Mark S. Mandel. All the links are below as well. otherwise. But thank you for spending your time with me and hanging out with me, even if coding's not your thing or that kind of stuff. But we got some stuff working. We got stuff compiling, so that's really good, which is a really nice note to finish on. All right. Thank you very much. Hopefully, if this is the beginning of your day, have a great rest of your day. If this is the end of your day, have a good sleep at some point. And if it's the middle of the day, have some lunch. Okay. I'll speak to you all later. Thanks so much for hanging out.